A decision that's reverberated across the nation. 5 hockey players acquitted in a sexual assault case. Amid more evacuations, Saskatchewan calls in the feds to help fight fires. Plus, the final chapter for comic book fans as Sask Expo Regina announces the end of its convention.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It's Thursday, July 24th. CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Hello, I'm Natasha Lipney. An Ontario judge has acquitted 5 former World Junior hockey players in a high-profile sexual assault case. She determined that the complainant's allegations against the men lacked credibility. Ali Chiasson has more on the decision and reactions to it.
It is a landmark ruling in what was already such a high-profile case, given the accusations and the former NHLers who were accused here. Today, there's both relief and outrage. This morning, EM supporters shouted down the accused for one last time as each walked into court to learn their fate. They had supporters too.
Not guilty!
That was ultimately Justice Maria Caricia's decision, and it was clear from the outset, early in her ruling, reading, quote, "I conclude that the Crown cannot meet its onus on any of the counts before me." Outside court, defense attorneys spoke to the media.
Justice Caricia rejected EM's claims of fear and her claims of non-consent. That should be the takeaway from today's judgment.
Their clients left out of a separate exit. The Crown, meantime,
we will carefully review Justice Caricia's decision. And as this case is still within the appeal period, we have no further comments to make about the decision at this time. Thank you very much for your time.
The Crown attorneys didn't comment whether they would be appealing the judge's decision. We did hear from the woman at the center of all this through her lawyer.
I expect many people understand that when a person summons the courage to disclose their story, the worst possible outcome is to feel disbelieved. It's a gutting experience that no one deserves. That's why today's verdict is so devastating.
What happens next? Those hockey players leave and move on with their lives. It's unclear whether they will be able to salvage a professional hockey playing career. As for EM, as we've only known her as, this chapter from 7 years ago is closed, and it's unclear where she goes from here. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, London, Ontario.
Fast-moving wildfires are once again getting dangerously close to communities in Saskatchewan's north, but help from Ottawa is finally on the way. Alexander Kwan brings us the latest.
The Canadian Armed Forces will soon arrive in Saskatchewan to help combat wildfires in the province.
As of today, we've been advised that we would have further personnel, those 300 personnel, within the next 36 to 48 hours.
Saskatchewan's safety minister formally requested federal assistance on Wednesday. It's a change of tone from the provincial government, which has insisted since the fires began in May that Ottawa could not provide what Saskatchewan needed. The Army personnel are set to arrive in the province by Saturday. They will be used as Type 3 fire personnel for wildfire mop-up operations, allowing for more experienced firefighters to be deployed elsewhere.
It really is about a situation that has now presented it to us in regards to being able to safely deploy further Type 3s on fires that are having some less activity that allows us to stabilize the containment of those fires.
The decision is being welcomed by Métis Nation Saskatchewan, which has recently declared a state of emergency for the province's northwest due to the wildfires.
The province can't do this alone, just like we can't as a Métis Nation. We have to all come together, join forces, strengthen our position, and do it together.
Métis Nation Saskatchewan says it needs to be part of conversations with the provincial government in order to better coordinate wildfire response. The SPSA says it will consider doing that. This all comes as the province issues a new evacuation order for Ramsey Bay Northern Resort Subdivision and Ramsey Bay Campground. Both are on Waiakwin Lake, about 140 kilometers north of Prince Albert. A fast-moving wildfire is threatening the communities, and residents are being asked to start evacuating immediately. People who need accommodation are being directed to the Days Inn in Prince Albert. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
An investigation into an employee of the province's new Marshals service has concluded, but we're not going to learn much more than that. It started back in April when the Saskatchewan Marshals Service confirmed one of its members was the subject of a complaint. It provided no details on the nature of that complaint. All we found out was that the Public Complaints Commission was investigating. Now the employee in question has resigned, and that means the commission's findings and the person's identity will not be made public. Saskatoon's crime severity index has dropped by nearly 10% from the previous year. The crime severity index is used by Statistics Canada to track the seriousness of crime across the country. The latest report shows property crime in the city was down nearly 15% in 2024 compared to 2023. The Saskatoon Police Service says it believes targeted enforcement and community initiatives have helped. One area that increased marginally is violent crime. Meanwhile, the RCMP says rural and northern parts of the province are facing a much more serious reality. Its latest report shows more people are becoming victims of violent crime, and the crimes themselves are getting more extreme. In 2024, the RCMP's North District saw more than half of all violent crime. Firearm-related offences have also tripled in all Saskatchewan RCMP jurisdictions in the last decade. 3 workers remain trapped deep inside the Red Chris mine in northern BC. Effort is underway to remove about 30 meters of debris blocking access to them. Newmont Corps, which operates the mine, says the workers are sheltering in a safe refuge bay stocked with food and water. They are from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario. They were reportedly about 600 meters deep in the tunnel when a pair of rock falls trapped them on Tuesday. The mine has multiple self-contained refuge bays. Each one contains enough supplies to support 16 people for at least 3 days. Cosplayers and comic book fans in Regina are out of luck. That's because the Sask Expo Regina has announced that the only comic and fan convention in the city is shutting down. Alex Kozrowski reports.
Sask Expo Regina has been a place for cosplayers, celebrity guests, and comic book lovers for years. Now it's a thing of the past. The convention released a statement earlier this week explaining the shutdown is due to low attendance since COVID and issues with the Real District venue. Last year, Sask Expo Regina was also canceled due to an organizer's health concerns. Expo staff told vendors and advanced ticket buyers that their deposits would carry over to this year. Now, a full year later, vendors are worried they'll never get their money back. Brandy and Lauren Oliver usually sell spray paint art at the expo.
The year before, I had almost sold out of every painting that I had made before, which was probably about 100 paintings or so, plus I made a whole bunch while I was there. And then being out that money, so we didn't get money that we were expecting to get, and then we were out another $750, so that's a mortgage payment or groceries for a few weeks.
The Olivers say the organizers of Sask Expo Regina have completely stopped communicating with the vendors.
We've got a very small window, and the expo being the last show of the year, we usually do try to go all out for it. And so it was a big hit. It's not a matter of we want our money back. It's a matter of where did the money go?
Real District says that all financial transactions are managed directly by event organizers with Sask Expo Regina. It says that it's also missing payments from the now canceled convention. As for the Olivers, they're not optimistic they'll see their money back, and they say they'll be more cautious about who they do business with in the future. Alex Kozrowski, CBC News, Regina.
Another concert by a controversial American musician has been canceled, and now the city of Saskatoon is reviewing an application for his upcoming performance in a municipal park. Quebec City says musician Sean Foyt was not mentioned in the original contract, and that's why it's been scrapped. This follows a series of cancellations in other Canadian cities. The singer is a prominent figure in the MAGA movement and unsuccessfully ran for U.S. Congress as a Republican in 2020. He has also been outspoken against the 2S LGBTQ+ community, abortion rights, and critical race theory. Foyt is continuing his tour in Ontario. He's scheduled to play in Saskatoon's Diefenbaker Park on August 21st. Well, that's more like it. The Wascana Trails south of Lumsden were looking lush and bright today. The sunny rays had much less smoke to fight through than earlier this week, and that sunshine sure helped the temperature creep up closer to what we're used to this time of year. Is summer in Saskatchewan back? We'll find out more after the break. Welcome back. Many people have been choosing to shop for Canadian products since Donald Trump started a trade war in February. But as Sophia Harris reports, sometimes the Buy Canadian label is not accurate.
Stacey Deneen is all in on the Buy Canadian movement, especially for food. But she loses her appetite when it's mislabeled, like this broccoli, advertised at her local Sobeys store as a product of Canada.
I was pretty excited, except that when I picked it up and read the tag shows product of USA. That frustrates me. It makes me feel misled.
According to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, in the past 8.5 months, the agency has identified 29 complaint-driven cases related to country of origin claims for food where companies violated the rules. The CFIA says most of the cases involve bulk produce sold in stores. CBC News went shopping and found several cases of mislabeled bulk and packaged produce, like these blueberries at a Sobeys store, advertised as product of Canada, but the packaging stated product of USA.
That's mislabeled, that's false advertising, right? That's not consistent.
At a Loblaw-owned No Frills, these strawberries were branded with the maple leaf, plus a prepared in Canada declaration, but the packaging said product of USA. After CBC News reached out to Loblaw about this, the signage was gone.
Why would you put a maple leaf on a product that very clearly is imported? It just erodes the trust.
Beyond the produce aisle, both Deneen and CBC discovered this at Sobeys stores. Raw imported almonds, promoted as made in Canada and marked with a maple leaf, but
we don't grow almonds in this country. Those should not meet the made in Canada threshold.
Sobeys didn't answer questions about the raw almonds, but the grocer and Loblaw told CBC News they strive for accurate country of origin labeling, but that mistakes can happen when dealing with mass inventory and constantly changing suppliers.
It might be unreasonable to expect them to get it right every time.
If the retailers but this food labeling expert says big grocers are spending big money on patriotic ads.
Canadian isn't just in our name.
And have had enough time to iron out the wrinkles.
Just having a marketing campaign without having the correct information behind the scenes really, I think, does a disservice to all consumers.
As for Deneen, she'll keep checking the fine print to make sure she knows where her food is coming from. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Hundreds of doctors across Manitoba have added a new tool to their belt. They're now using AI to help take notes. The program listens in to appointments in real time and provides a transcription for the doctor to review, edit, and sign off on. The president of Doctors Manitoba has been using it in her clinic and says she's noticed a difference.
I can be more present with the patient. I can run more on time in my clinic. I can fit more things in, and I can get home at a reasonable hour. And so I find that if it must be saving me time because I'm able to make my days fuller without, not getting home on time for supper.
She says 400 AI Scribe program licenses were designated for Manitoba by the federally funded not-for-profit Canada Health Infoway earlier this year. These scribes will not be doing any diagnosing or contributing to treatment decisions. The government of Saskatchewan couldn't say whether clinics here are using AI because most of them are independently owned and operated. However, it did say it's looking into the potential risks of AI technology in the healthcare system. Weather specialist Helena Mahalik joins me now. So after several days of cool, smoky weather, I admit I was unprepared for the sun and heat over my lunchtime walk today. And so I think my shoulders are a little toasty under this blouse. Is this weather going to stick around?
Yeah, Natasha, tomorrow is going to be even warmer, so you might want to pack some sunscreen. And conditions were beautiful in the province, but Thursday night, not everywhere is feeling quite nice. Let's take a look at what's going on in the province right now. As of Thursday night, a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for the northwest, areas like Isle-la-Crosse and La Loche. Some of the risks from the storm include wind gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour, quarter-sized hail, and periods of heavy rainfall. Over the next few days, we're going to continue to see periods of rain up north. Friday, we're going to see scattered showers in that area, as well as some showers in the southwest for areas around Kindersley, and that storm is going to pass through Regina as well. Into the weekend, we're going to see clear skies throughout south and central Saskatchewan. Again, maybe some scattered showers up north. It's really Sunday that we're going to see the heaviest of the rainfall in south and central Saskatchewan. Areas around Saskatoon and Prince Albert may get a lot of rainfall Sunday. And although our radar wasn't picking up on it quite right, on Friday there is a severe thunderstorm issued for much of the province, especially these areas in yellow. So in the southwest around Kindersley, as well as in east, south, and central along the Manitoba border. So those areas in yellow could receive wind gusts up to 110 kilometers an hour, golf ball-sized hail, and heavy rainfall. For those areas in gray, much of the same risks, just less wind and smaller hail, but again, periods of very heavy rainfall, and conditions could be favorable for funnel clouds in the southwest in that Kindersley area, as well as in the northwest for areas around Uranium City or Buffalo Narrows. But smoke-wise, we definitely saw improvements today in the southeast for areas around Estevan and Yorkton. After a few days of smoky air, we saw air quality statements lift for those areas. In the next few days, we're going to continue to see smoke concentrated in the north around La Ronge, and into the weekend, we could see that get pushed down towards the Prince Albert area. Wind-wise, we saw a bit of a breeze in the southwest today, and that helped push some of that smoke back up towards the north. Friday's also going to be a bit of a breezy day for the south, with close to 40 kilometers an hour wind gusts for much of that area. And into Saturday, we're going to start seeing winds up north picking up, and that is going to help bring some of that smoke down into the Prince Albert area. And as mentioned, tomorrow temperatures are really going to be picking up Friday, with many areas in the south even exceeding the 30-degree mark, and many places in central Saskatchewan also getting quite warm. So Natasha, definitely time to pack that sunscreen in your bag tomorrow.
Okay, thanks for the tip.
Thanks.
Wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan has died. World Wrestling Entertainment announced his passing on Thursday, saying that he had suffered cardiac arrest that morning. Hogan helped turn wrestling into a global phenomenon in the 1980s. His real name was Terry Bollea, and he was WWE champion 6 times. His name was synonymous with the annual extravaganza WrestleMania. His popularity transcended sport in the 1990s when he appeared in several movies. Hogan was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005, but was removed 10 years later for using a racial slur. He was reinstated in 2018. In recent years, he was a vocal supporter of Donald Trump. Hulk Hogan was 71. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. The 21st Annual Gateway Festival takes over the small town of Bengoff on Friday. The Washboard Union and 5440 are set to headline, and the festival is also known for highlighting local acts like Megan Nash and Jake Fodlin and the Sturgeon River Boys. The 2-day event spills out of the festival grounds and into the surrounding community, offering music at the local swimming pool and hosting a car show downtown. Set in Saskatchewan's Badlands, not far from the U.S. border, Gateway makes for a quintessential Western weekend. We'll be back after the break. The Saskatchewan Roughriders will look to stay on top of CFL's West Division Friday night as they host the Edmonton Elks. Their opponents have just one win this season. Expect a different look for the Elks offense as quarterback Trey Ford sits and former Roughrider Cody Fajardo gets his first start of the season. Roughriders head coach Corey Mace says the team was ready for either quarterback.
But yeah, just, how the calls are going to look versus a certain quarterback. We've watched throughout the week, no doubt. But again, you were preparing for both, but certainly, a little heavier emphasis now on Cody. So
they've played well in games. It's not like people are just dog walking these guys. These guys are good football players, and they've played well in games. They've held up really well. And sometimes, they've just been on the field a little bit too long. And get put back on the field a decent amount. And so it's our job to make sure that we can kind of keep them on the field.
Friday's game is one of only two against the Edmonton Elks this season. Kickoff at Mosaic Stadium is 7 p.m. Helena is back with another look at that forecast. So how is that Riders game looking, Helena?
Well, Natasha, it's definitely going to be hot for that Riders game. Let's take a look at the forecast for the city of Regina. Yeah, temperatures jumping up by a lot. Temperatures in the south hovering around 30 degrees Friday, but there is a chance of severe thunderstorms for that Riders game. Into the weekend, we're going to see temperatures return back to seasonal and beautiful conditions Saturday, but into Sunday, we're going to see temperatures drop and some rainfall that's going to carry us into the next work week. By Tuesday, we're going to see that rain stop and temperatures still hovering around seasonal, some more rainfall possible later into the week, and overnight lows will be hovering a few degrees above seasonal for this time of year. Into Saskatoon, we're also going to be seeing temperatures quite warmer on Friday. Again, that chance of severe thunderstorms. Saturday, temperatures dropping back down below seasonal, and they're going to be quite a few degrees below seasonal into Sunday and Monday as we get that chance of rainfall. It's also going to be dropping our overnight lows by quite a few degrees, but into the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing that rain stopping and temperatures returning back to seasonal for this time of year. So Natasha, we have one day of the weekend where you can go outside, one to stay in and watch the rain. That's ideal.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, that's it for us. For news anytime, head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. You can also download the CBC News app. Thank you for watching.